that said, let's get straight into our business for the day. We're going into the dailies, all right? We're going to check out the headlines, the various stories that have made it to the front pages. Quite a number of the papers came out today. Yesterday, I struggled a bit because the papers didn't come out. They were on holiday. Today, a number of them are here. And so we start off with the daily graphic. Let's see what's on the front page of the daily graphic. Heavy on the illegal mining issue, of course, over the holiday period. The lands minister was at work, and we've seen the happenings and, of course, what has happened after his press conference. So the lands minister is pictured here, and the story says, Akonta mining license revoked. Akonta mining license revoked. Comes with a picture of the lands minister, as I mentioned earlier. Then you have His Excellency, the President, John Dramani Mahama, on the left-hand corner of the paper. It says, at Kwahu Business Forum, Mahama unveils vision for private sector. At Kwahu Business Forum, Mahama unveils a vision for private sector. 34 police commanders reshuffled in Galamsey areas. 34 police commanders reshuffled in Galamsey areas. And the sad one that came in yesterday, the Vatican made that quite unfortunate announcement. We're here on air when it came in, and quite as difficult as it was, we also had to put it out there so the world knows. Story says, world mourns Pope Francis. World mourns Pope Francis. Quite a sad one there. A number of arrangements are being made. The Ghana Catholic Bishops' Conference have issued their own press statement regarding what is expected to happen from now on until the burial of the pontiff. Okay, so the Catholic community have our condolences. Okay, let me take you to the Ghanaian Times newspaper now. Front page. Again, back to Kwahu. President Mahama, pictured here. At Kwahu Business Forum, we are turning the corner. President Mahama speaking. At Kwahu Business Forum, we are turning the corner. President Mahama. Tributes pour in from world leaders after Pope Francis's death. And women empowerment in Tiame. Minority leader pledges support. Then you have the big one. Government revokes Akonta mining lease for trespassing Tano Nimiri Forest Reserve. That's attributed to the lands minister, Emmanuel Kofi-Boah. A number of stories there on how Christians mark the Easter festivities. That's on the back page of the Ghanaian Times. Grab a copy and you get it. All right, let's jump into the Daily Guide. Daily Guide newspaper. Front page says, Baumia NPP begin thank you tour. Baumia NPP begin thank you tour. Police seize illegal ammunitions in Volta region. Yeah, we had that story yesterday as well. We understand a Benin-bound vehicle from Accra was intercepted somewhere in the Volta region. And upon this bars, a number of ammunition illegal were seized. Kudos to the police for that. Nana meets John Mahama and Kufuor at Kwahu Easter. Nana meets John Mahama and Kufuor at Kwahu Easter. Then you have government revokes Akonta mining license. Government revokes Akonta mining license. Pope Francis dies aged 88. Tributes pour in. Pope Francis dies 88. Tributes pour in. That's the Daily Guide newspaper. Let's check out the Chronicle, shall we? What's the Chronicle newspaper saying? Major story also on the Akonta mining issue. Akonta mining has become a criminal syndicate. That's according to Emmanuel Kofi-Boah, Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. He says Akonta mining has become a criminal syndicate. Okay, as the Freeman Foundation celebrates Easter with assurance of hope for the needy. Okay. Yohunu orders detention of 3 cops over alleged $70,000 theft. Yohunu orders detention of 3 cops over alleged $70,000 theft. Then we can get into our scripture for the day, taken from the book of 1 Timothy, the chapter 6, the verse 10. For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. Some people, eager for money, have wandered from the faith and pierced themselves with many griefs. Thanks be to God for the reading of his word. All right, let's see what the New Republic is saying this morning. The New Republic, I'm not sure whether we are at an auction sale or what's happening on the front page, but it says, going, what or who is going where? New Republic. But I'm sure when you get a copy of the paper, the details are there. We see what you've done, but it's okay. It's not for us to tell. When people get a copy of the paper, they should be able to get the details there. New Republic there. 219 victims freed from cybercrime hell. 219 victims freed from cybercrime hell. NACOC raids Medina Market and Redco Flat as government kicks anti-narcotics operation in action. Hidden horrors of Subri Forest slum as Forestry Commission discloses shocking details of Abewa crime. Hey, things are happening in this country. Calls for military base in Boko escalate. Calls for military base in Boko escalate. Benin bound arms busted. Benin bound arms busted. Okay, daily. Oh no, this is daybreak. Alarm blow over shady RCC 64 recruitment. Alarm blow over shady RCC 64 recruitment. NIB probe drip chop chop. NIB probe drip chop chop. Easter Orphan Project, City FM and ChannelOne TV donate 50,000 Ghana cedis and assorted items to Basco. Mahama appoints Elizabeth Yanka as Deputy National Security Coordinator. Mahama appoints Elizabeth Yanka as Deputy National Security Coordinator. And Gideon Buakon spends Easter with Tano North self-starters living in Accra. Gideon Buakon spends Easter with Tano North self-starters living in Accra. That's the Daybreak newspaper. I'll bring you to the Economy Times now. What's the Economy Times saying? Government anchors on fiscal discipline to pursue IMF program targets. Government anchors on fiscal discipline to pursue IMF program targets. Damai Mines takeover. Mincom dispels lack of local capacity sentiment. Damai Mines takeover. Mincom dispels lack of local capacity sentiment. And then you have Ghana's first listed commercial paper issuance opens door to new financing mode. Ghana's first listed commercial paper issuance opens door to new financing mode. That's the front page of the Economy Times. Let's still stay in the business space and check out the Business and Financial Times, BNFT, which front page has the big story, commercial grade nickel discovered in OT region. Okay, big one there. Commercial grade nickel discovered in OT region. But you see, we need to be careful. The fact that we've discovered this nickel is not to pave way for illegal mining of this nickel. Else we are doomed. We know where OT is. We know where the Volta River is. If we begin to misbehave along that line and start polluting the Volta River as well, we are doomed. Already we have destroyed the Ofin, destroyed the Pra, destroyed Ankobra, and a host of others. We've seen the level of devastation and destruction in our forest, all in the name of mining. We couldn't, as a country, crack the whip and ensure responsible mining, reclamation of lands after mining, protection of our water bodies, even though we are mining. And now that we've discovered nickel of commercial grade in the OT region, we should put the right measures in place as strict as possible. Else, if we enter that side and we begin to destroy the Volta River, I don't know what the future holds for us. So we beg you, let's do the right thing, okay? Let's do right by Mother Ghana. And let's all be proud to call ourselves Ghanaians at the end of the day. Other stories on the front page of the BNFT. 3 oil refineries, 5 petrochemical plants to be constructed. 3 oil refineries, 5 petrochemical plants to be constructed. Comes with a picture of the Deputy Energy and Green Transition Minister, Richard Jan Mensah. Then on the stock market, you have Fedco sets GSE commercial paper ball rolling with 72.5 million Ghana cedis of 200 million cedis raised. Okay, government gets bold digital reset in motion. Government gets bold digital reset in motion. And then you have a number of comments and analysis write-ups in there. That's the BNFT. Grab a copy and you can get the details. I want to take you online real quick, okay? Let's see what's happening online. Let's go to ChannelOneNews.com, see what they are leading with this morning. ChannelOneNews.com, okay? 47 arrested, 17 excavators and weapons seized in police anti-Galamsey raid. 47 arrested, 17 excavators and weapons seized in police anti-Galamsey raid. Akonta mining refutes Galamsey claims in Tano Nimiri forest. Like we mentioned yesterday, the Minister for the sector, Emmanuel Amakufibua, spoke, directed the Minerals Commission to revoke the license of Akonta mining following alleged illegal mining in the Tano Nimiri forest and the level of devastation as shown by the minister. Whew, it's quite sad. And at a point, we saw the minister shed tears. It's heartbreaking to see that people can be this careless and callous in destroying our environment, the way and manner in which they are doing it with such impudence, because I don't know what kind of power they think they hold and why they feel they can do what they are doing without anyone stopping or touching them. And so, for me, it's good that the minister is exposing same, but it does not end there or should not end there. Even with the revocation of the license, if indeed the allegations are true, it should not end there. There should be some prosecution. People must be made to pay for the crimes they have committed against Mother Ghana. Whatever has happened in that forest, that level of destruction is criminal, and people need to pay. And so, Mr. Minister, I mean, aside the tears and all, we're sharing your pain. We're all Ghanaians. We are saddened by it. We are hurt. But after the tears on camera, please, people need to pay for that level of devastation, that destruction, that carelessness. People need to pay for it. So please, we need you to act on that as well. But kudos to you for the work you have been doing regarding illegal mining in the country. Let's look at some other stories on ChannelOneNews.com. ECOWAS launches 50th anniversary celebrations today in Accra. ECOWAS launches 50th anniversary celebrations today in Accra. Next Pope will be God's choice, not politics. This is Bishop John Kobna Louis speaking there. And then when you go to the website, you would have photos of the City FM Channel 1 TV support to Basco. Of course, we donated some cash and, of course, other essential items to the orphanage. Okay, so go on ChannelOneNews.com. You get pictures of that particular event, which we are eternally grateful to you for supporting. Okay, thank you so much. We knew we could count on you, and you came through for us, and we say God bless you. All right, let's check out other stories here. TTH launches probe into alleged negligence following patient's death. TTH launches probe into alleged negligence following patient's death. 51 arrested, weapons and equipment seized in raid on Akonta mining. That's attributed to the lands minister. He also actually put out there that some over 30 excavators were seized from the site. Should tell you the level of impudence and, of course, disregard for the environment that was going on there. Okay. A host of other stories also on ChannelOneNews.com. So get onto the website, get onto the portal, and you can get all the details there. But let me take you to citynewsroom.com. Let's see what is happening on citynewsroom.com. Akonta mining. Galamsey allegations politically motivated. You know, Akonta mining issued a statement in response or in reaction to the minister's press conference, and they say that they are innocent of all the allegations or charges by the minister, and they feel that all these allegations are politically motivated. We know who the front runners or the faces for Akonta mining are. We know the Ashanti regional chairman, Bernard Nchibu Esiakon, also known as ChannelOne to me, is more or less the owner of Akonta Mining, as we've been told over the period. And they have issued a statement in reaction or in response to the minister's press conference yesterday. They say that they are not involved in illegal mining in the Tano-Nimiri Forest Reserve. Okay? They claim that they have a legal lease. They are legally mandated to carry out large-scale mining, according to the statement that they released. And so they have no hand or business in the destruction of the Tano-Nimiri Forest, as espoused or alleged by the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Amakufibua, yesterday. We'll be getting into that conversation, looking at perspectives. I mean, the damage is done. The destruction is done. It's time to make people pay, okay? Somebody needs to pay for the reclamation of these lands. Somebody needs to pay for the afforestation or reforestation of this particular place. And so, yes, saddened, yes, hurt, yes, you are allowed to cry on TV, but Mr. Minister, crack the whip. Let us get people to pay for their crimes. This is Breakfast Daily here on ChannelOne Television. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll have a conversation on this particular matter and others. We'll be right back. Hello again. Grateful that you stayed on with us. This is Breakfast Daily, live on ChannelOne Television. We're going to go into the conversations. As I mentioned earlier, we'll start off with the issue of illegal mining and the fight against it, what the government has been doing, and of course, what the future holds for this particular fight. Two gentlemen in the studio with me. Do a quick introduction and welcome them. It's been a long Easter holidays. I'm sure they are refreshed. Hopefully they got to rest so that we kick off the working week from a Tuesday. Larry Dogwe, editor of the Herald newspaper. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning, too.
The way I'm black, I'm not too sure what's going on, but...
I'm actually a Catholic.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a Catholic.
Okay. So we're mourning the Pope.
The Pope, true. Yeah,
Very well.
I'm a Catholic.
Very well, very well.
Yeah.
Wanda Madilo is here. He's a member of the NDC's communication team. Good morning, Wanda.
Yes, a very good morning to your viewers. Privileged it is to be here.
Right. I mean, minus the passing of the Pope yesterday, how was the Easter holidays?
Actually, I've been away in my constituency. A few events here.
Which one is this? Which of the constituency?
Ketu South.
Ketu South.
Yeah,
wonderful.
so
Wonderful.
A few events here and there, and so far so good. We have better prospects, apart from the passing of the Pope, which made all of us to be sad. You know, I mean, because it happened on the Monday. Yeah. And that changed the mood a bit. Even though I'm not a Catholic, but I'm a Catholic by heart, not by practice, you know. But we look forward to a better day and a new Pope, you know, to be installed. We need that world order to be restored as quickly as possible.
Harry, did you go to the village?
Yes, I was. I was there when OJ wouldn't allow me to. Would he allow me? The man kept calling and calling and calling.
I can imagine.
I told him, Charlie, I'm in the family meeting. Give me some few minutes. OJ can disturb.
Well, I mean, the man knows how to get his work done.
So in my case, it has not been restful. It's been very, very eventful.
Eventful.
Yeah, and so many activities during the weekend and then even yesterday.
Right.
But because you had called, I had no choice than to dash here.
And we're grateful to you. We're grateful to you. Yeah. Okay, let's get into our business of the day. We're starting off with illegal mining. The Lands and Natural Resources Minister has been busy, Emmanuel Amakufibua. Long and short of the story is that the government raided Akonta mining site. We know Akonta mining has been in the news over the period, and of course, the government has raided the site and ordered the revocation of the license. There's a story here on citynewsroom.com I'll read a few paragraphs and then I'll throw it to you, gentlemen. Pick your thoughts on what has happened. Now, the government has revoked the license lease, or the mining lease, rather, of Akonta Mining Company Limited following revelations of the company's deep involvement in illegal mining activities, commonly known as Galamsey, within protected forest reserves. Now, speaking at a press briefing in Accra on Monday, April 21, 2025, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Ama Kofi Boa, outlined findings from recent undercover investigations which uncovered that Akonta Mining was operating unlawfully in forest reserves despite lacking the necessary permits. According to the minister, although Akonta Mining holds a license to operate off-reserve, the company had encroached into the Aboy and Tano Nimiri forest reserves in the Western North region. So, I mean, this is basically a few paragraphs of that story there. The minister went on to direct the Minerals Commission to revoke the license of Akonta Mining. Some arrests were made, 51 of them, out of which 8 were Chinese, 39 Ghanaian men, 4 Ghanaian women. Some weapons also seized. Wanda, I'll start with you. The issue, as grave as it is, was bad enough to get our Minister of State in charge of lands and natural resources to cry on national TV. Quite, I mean, I don't have the words for it, but if we look at how we have come regarding this...
Do you have the video of him crying?
You want us to show the video of the minister crying?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure the producers will fish it out and we can see what we'll do with that. But, I mean, beyond the tears, right? If indeed it is established that this is what has happened, I think some persons should be made to pay. The revocation of the license should not be enough. Mind you, the company has issued a statement denying the allegations. I just had to chip that one in there.
So read that one.
Yeah.
Too.
So let's just see what the company is saying. Also carried on citynewsroom.com. Akonta Mining Company. Galamsey allegations politically motivated. Akonta Mining Limited has denied allegations of engaging in illegal mining activities within the Tano Nimiri Forest Reserve following the revocation of its license by the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Ama Kofi Boa. Now, at a press briefing, okay, this goes to tell us what the minister has said. So I jump to the response, which says, in response, Akonta Mining issued a statement rejecting the allegations as false and misleading and described the revocation of its license as a breach of natural justice. Quote, we are not responsible for the activities in the Tano Nimiri Forest Reserve. That responsibility lies solely with the Forestry Commission and the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, the company stated. It is deeply concerning that state institutions are shifting blame onto a private company that has never been granted access to the said forest area. The decision by the minister to publicly accuse us and call for the revocation of our license without any investigation or hearing is not just unfair. It is a clear breach of natural justice and a politically motivated act, end quote, the statement added. So minister has spoken, directed Minerals Commission to revoke the license of Akonta Mining based on what he says is an undercover operation they embarked on. Akonta Mining, however, says all these are false, politically motivated, a breach of natural justice because they haven't been investigated, they haven't had a fair hearing, and they are calling for fairness in this matter. Before we get into the conversation, Dennis Abuaje has joined us. Good morning. Good to see you. I hope all is well. Good to have you. Good to have you. Good to have you. So, Larry, let me start with you.
No, you mentioned
I wanted Wanda to start. Rather than this is here, I'll start with you, and then we'll get the reactions from the two of them as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Good morning, and then good morning to our viewers. First of all, I read the statement. I didn't watch the press conference, and a few things came to mind. Firstly, this is not the first time that Akonta Mining has come up. I recall that in 2023, there was a media report about their involvement in some mining activities in forest areas and so on. And we created, a storm. Along the line, the president then, President Akufo-Addo, working to clear the company.
As it were.
Yes, that their investigation has shown that Akonta Mining was not involved in anything of a sort. I recall Ken Ashigbe, who has been involved in Galamsey.
The media coalition against illegal mining.
Came out virtually, disputing what the president said. Okay. Now, but so the debate has been on whether or not the company is involved in a thing like that, because the president's word carried a lot of weight. Again, Woon to me, as in the owner, has also been disputing the company's name,
or its involvement,
in
illegal
in Galamsey, but never disputed the fact that it had licenses, to go into gold mining. While doing that, I think either before then or just during the debate, he, Woon to me, had been on TV, showing gold bars, gold chain, talking about how rich he was and so on and so forth. For me, if, as a PR person, if a company has been cited to be involved in a thing like this, out of a media investigation, in fighting it, you don't do such things.
Was that display of the gold before or after the issue came up?
But, okay, I think it
was before, then really...
I think it was done before, and even during the period. I think, And so, I mean, there's been back and forth as far as Untumi's involvement in gold illegal mining, is concerned. But much earlier, I mean, Untumi's name came up even during the first Mahama administration, that he's been involved in such things. He brings in the Chinese to mine for him. He's behind a lot of the importation of excavators and so on and so forth. So he's been within the space all this while. I don't know whether any concrete action has been taken against the company, whether or not all the state regulatory bodies have done any thorough investigation to nail him, sort of. Okay. But fast forward, today we are here, where the Minister for Lands
and Natural
Resources has held a press conference, the boldest yet, to say that, hey, this is what they discovered. But then they had to go undercover and then identify certain people, certain payments that are collected both in cash and then gram. He mentioned, is it ounces of gold or exactly, that is
250 grams
of gold that he's supposed to be.
That's weekly royalties.
Yes, that companies that they had given concessions to are supposed to be paying to Akonta Mining. So more like they had become like a godfather sort of, where you collect
running the entire network.
A syndicate. I mean, that is serious. They also retrieved guns. And then ammunition and so on. And then arrested Chinese and other Ghanaian.
8 Chinese, 39 Ghanaian men, and 4 Ghanaian women.
Good. The company has denied that and said that they are citing issues of natural justice. They have not been heard. The minister has gone to town talking. See, for me, the best thing to do is to put these people before court. But putting them before court, you need to investigate. Okay. And if there's any, any criminal activity that they are involved in, deal with them. Again, the way to deal with it, I went through the statements that the minister read, and I noticed that he was too silent on Minerals Commission. Okay. But mentioned forestry, and then mention some other institutions.
You think he should have gone heavy on Minerals Commission?
Yes, Minerals Commission. I think the whole narrative these days you hear is a clever attempt to dodge, what the involvement of Minerals Commission in all this. I don't know, because the government is still keeping AEC in office. There is Martin AEC. The guy who, granted most of these licenses, he's still in office. And the narrative, swerves him. The narrative swerves him. It's like he's put aside. And then, You know, others are the Forestry Commission. Somebody granted the licenses, and the licenses are your operations are supposed to meet a certain regulatory, you know, arrangement. Have we investigated that to find out whether or not he's met the terms and conditions
before the license was issued?
Exactly, or even, you know, once the license is issued, you are supposed to meet certain requirements.
Yeah.
Has he met those? Has the company met those requirements? Do you get it? If they haven't, I mean, hey, deal with them.
Then the commission should have acted.
Yeah, the commission, exactly. And, you know, so then you can, the institutions or people are paid to do one job or the other. If they are not doing it, you know, go on those regulatory measures. Do you get it? So that the forestry, the destruction of the forest and all those other things, you know, can become, let's say, ancillary to whatever it is that is being discussed. But if, oh, they are not meeting this, they are not doing that, they are carrying guns, even the possession of guns, you can also even deal with them on that score as well. Are these licensed guns?
The people the holders, are they licensed gun holders?
To use them. That is another, you know, criminal thing you can deal with. And then the regulatory, you know, they are not supposed to be within the forest. Have they gone into the forest? They are not supposed to pollute water bodies. Are they polluting water bodies? Deal with them on those ones. Then they wouldn't have any leg to stand on. Yeah. Okay, because as I said, this is not the first time. Okay, so would we say that even under Akufo-Addo, the company was targeted? Okay, we know who to miss political whatever. Yeah. But if we didn't deal with him then, and we are here now, I mean, he could cleverly cite, even if it's me, I'll cleverly cite that thing about political, you know, victimization or witch hunting, and then, you know, I can run away with it. So we need to do a thorough job as far as this thing is concerned as a country.
Dennis. Akonta Mining says they are being witch hunted. They think that this public revocation of their license by the minister is in bad taste. What do you make of this?
I mean, I'm trying to resist the temptation of being seen to be doing PR for Akonta Mining. But I mean, I agree with Larry. This is not the first time. I remember on 30th September 2022, the minister, which was Honorable Abu Jinapo, actually issued a statement and said that certain areas that had been alleged that Akonta Mining was mining, they didn't even have licenses, and directed the Minerals Commission to take action. And I think on the 3rd of October, the Minerals Commission issued a statement and indeed confirmed that certain areas that they have been alleged to be mining at, they didn't have the permit.
But they were there.
No, but they also came out to refute the fact that they were mining in those areas. Okay. You know, so this statement they released last night is almost the same statement they released in 2022, that they are not the people who are mining in those areas. I remember the 2022 one, they even stated that they were also even struggling in warding off illegal miners within their concession. My worry is, why are we creating an impression as if the war against Galamsey, as we are fighting now, is Akonta Mining? And that's why I'm trying to be very careful, fine line, you know. And so if you don't take care, like Larry said, it's easy for Akonta Mining to say, I'm being witch hunted. It's very, very easy for them to say, I'm being witch hunted. Even though I don't agree with that, because I mean, in 2022, even when Chairman Wuntumi's government was in office, the minister, the Minerals Commission came out clearly to, you know, say that, no, you don't have licenses in these areas. But that was the state doing its job. He also came out and said, I am not even mining in those areas you're talking about. Go and find those who are doing those things. Because it's not me. And the same thing is spanning out now.
And the president then came out to say that.
Exactly, of course. Because
this minister's press or statement or press conference yesterday, he mentioned that Akonta seems to be selling access to these areas.
Jail them. I mean, you see,
that's what I'm saying. Let me. It should not end here with this press.
You know, that is the challenge I have. You didn't even have to come and do this press conference yet. You see, that's always the challenge. And it's a problem with us politicians. When we get the news, we get excited. And then, because if you don't take care, there will be an anticlimax.
Yeah.
By the time you realize 2 weeks later, we are here asking what happened to the Akonta mining issue. And do you know what would have happened? You would probably have realized that you don't have enough evidence.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between saying this guy is a weed smoker or looks like a weed smoker and he's a weed smoker. You may see me stealing this cup, but if you don't get the needed evidence, you cannot prosecute me. So I would have thought that instead of coming to do this PR, wait, you have them as you claim. Get all your things done, all your facts ready, gather all your evidence. In fact, let the first news even be at the time where you are in court with them. Then we can be having some conversation. Because otherwise, what happened yesterday had happened in 2022, September. There is nothing new. There was no new information from the information that the minister put out yesterday, from what happened under the Akufo-Addo government when Chairman Wontumi was chairman or is chairman under the government in 2022. There was no difference. So, I mean, I'm asking myself, what next? What next? What is the new information that was shared yesterday? None. I have all the statements here. I have the statement from the minister in September. I have the statement from the Minerals Commission on October 3rd. All the information that was shared yesterday were here. And if you recall, these are conversations that were held at the time when Minister now, Honorable Kofi Boah, was in opposition. And I remember very well the conversation was, hey, because he's an MPP chairman, that is why he's being treated with kids' gloves, even when the minister had come to deny granted licenses to certain areas and all of that. So I would have thought that if you are finally in government, and this is your opposition party's chairman, hallelujah.
Yeah.
If he's actually involved in illegal mining, don't come and play back the same videos, the same stories and information that was played under the time when his party was in power. Bring us something new and take him to court. They have been bold. Last night, they have issued a statement and called you out and said that you are bluffing and that they are not doing anything untoward. Take them on. Otherwise, I really don't know what we are discussing. And that brings me back to my worry about Galamsey. I've said it in this studio severally. That anytime you politicize Galamsey, whether you are in government or in opposition, we are doomed. We are in for trouble. And our biggest challenge in this country in the fight against Galamsey is politicization. So recently when I see all the Galamsey stories on air, sometimes I want to laugh. I mean, I want to laugh at Wanda and the NDC because, like, you know, I say, like I told you, I am one that go and check all my submissions, everything on Galamsey. I always plead that we don't play politics with it. I'm from the mountains.
That's what it has become.
I have never seen gold before. I have never seen gold dust before. I really don't care. I don't know what gold is. So I want the issue resolved. You get what I'm saying? But we keep politicizing the
That's
situation.
what it has become.
But
the
then
political actors being, accused
bro,
of
if we
involvement.
continue, you see, okay, if you are fighting it and you really think that, okay, I don't want to politicize it and I want to fight it head on, I don't expect you to come and show only Chairman Wontumi's video yesterday. Show the Dunkwao, NDC chairman, who was on video on Joy News with his party boys strangling the military men in the Galamsey site and asking them to leave. There's a video. There's also a drone shot of that same Dunkwao area where the land had been destroyed by these NDC people. And then the story is on Joy News. I think City even carried it. Show that video as well. Then some of us would have supported you and said that, well, you are fighting it. But if you shelve the NDC chairman's video, which happened barely 2 months ago under your government, strangling a military man and asking him to leave the Galamsey site, and you come and show Chairman Wontumi's video only, you make it difficult for me to contribute and support you. Because then I feel that you are targeting my organization because you have singled a member of my organization out, and so I have to protect my organization. That is our challenge. So it was a charade what was done yesterday. The whole video thing and all of it. We've seen these videos before. These alleged Akonta mining videos, we've seen them before. And they're crying. What was it for? I think that whoever advised the Honorable Minister to cry misdirected him. I mean, we didn't vote for you to come and cry. This is a man that stood in Parliament and told the President in his face that, Mr. President, you are everything that is not, everything that, something about good governance. Everything that good governance is not, something like that.
Yeah.
This is a man that said that they had the solution to killing off this Galamsey menace.
Yeah.
In fact, the cabinet minister for communication, said that if Nana Akufo-Addo was serious, he would end Galamsey in 1 week as president, and that Galamsey shouldn't fester if we have a serious president. So if you are in power, and you are given the mandate to stop this, and you come and cry, we are crying. You have now come to join us to cry. What do we do? Hopeless situation. And I'm very sure last night he would have regretted making that move. I still think that all is not lost. I think that these guys involved in Galamsey are criminals. They don't care about this country. They are selfish, greedy people. I think we have to deal with this matter and deal with it very much. What I am telling all my MPP people is that let's forgive the NDC. They may have gotten it wrong in opposition, weaponizing Galamsey, using it as a tool to kick us out. I mean, 2 weeks to elections, this party in government was supporting civil society organizations calling for a state of emergency, knowing very well that there was an election coming, and if that should happen, the party will lose power. They were backing labor union to go on a nationwide, strike. And demonstration. When he was asked by Bernard on Bernard's show recently about the state of emergency, do you know what he said? He said no, he doesn't think it's a big deal and we are there. This is a man that barely 3 months ago was calling for a state of emergency. Today, Galamsey has escalated way above where it was 4 months ago. And he says, no, there's no need for a state of emergency. The deputy director of operations at the presidency, my very good friend, Mustafa Gbande, I was always with him on your afternoon show on phone. Yeah. He kept calling for a state of emergency, You have power. We didn't think that there was a need for a state of emergency. The Ghanaian people thought that, no, your view is wrong. Let's vote for the party that believes that there is a need for a state of emergency. You guys sponsored people to be on the street for 2 weeks, demonstrating, disrupting Accra life because of Galamsey. Now you have power. You are director of operations at the president. You know what he said? He said if the country should declare a state of emergency, it would reduce investor confidence. But when you were calling for it 4 months ago, you didn't know that. Yeah. But you see, you were calling for it because you wanted your party to simply come to power. But I say, and I say on your show that I do not think that we should hold anything against the NDC on that. They were just doing the opposition job. God being so good, they've won power. I don't think that we should go the same tangents and politicize Galamsey. I think we should support them to deal with it. The NDC will lose power not because of Galamsey. There are several things we could use to get the NDC out of power. Their incompetence is everlasting. You don't need Galamsey to get them out. So let's put Galamsey aside and use other things. But come together, work with them, and make sure that they deal with this matter once and for all. Because our survival is at stake. And we cannot continue to toy with that, anymore. So you see people come and say, hey, you said this, look at you, let's put that aside. Right now, what we need them to do is to simply implement the specific things they promised the people of Ghana that they would do. Till date, the minister hasn't implemented even one thing that they spoke about as their strategy in dealing with Galamsey. All the things he has been doing.
They've launched blue water guards.
There was.
They are going to use chassis numbers to track finances.
Please go ahead.
There's this revocation of Akonta mining. Police exactly. Police transfer of police commanders in mining areas.
And then sending them to the forest area.
Exactly.
Larry,
they promised to deport Chinese nationals.
Let's be very candid with the issues. Like I said, I support the government. Larry, is it the first time we've had water guards in the waters? No. Kuduka has been in the forest areas with them. In fact, as of December 2024, we had river guards. We had them. We gave them boats. We gave them drones. So it's not a new thing.
What are the drones? The drones?
Hold on. Looking for the drones. Hold on. The effectiveness of it is another discussion. I'm only saying that we have river guards.
No, but people can't trace the drones actually.
I'm saying that the effectiveness of the strategy is a different thing. I'm telling you that we have river guards.
But the presence of the absence of the drones.
It was the drone bit implemented in the first place?
Yes, it was. It was.
Because we've been asking for the drones. And
yes.
we don't know where the drones are.
The interministerial.
The IMCIM.
Yes. They did. In fact, we saw some. They were even shooting and showing some. You can go into that later.
The second, sure those are not the zip line.
No. The zip line can do that. Zip line can do that. Number two, we've always had Galam stop operation this, operation that. In
Operation
fact,
Halt.
since 2018 or 2017 mid-year with the City FM productions, we've had police and military permanently in our Galamsey areas and forest areas till December 2024. They haven't left.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you mention all these things that had already been in place and was not giving us the needed results, because I don't think those things gave us results.
Right.
They never did. Why do you think the Ghanaian people voted against the MPP government for you? It is because you promised other things.
Right.
That was not being done at the time.
But the defeat of the MPP, I mean, it's not solely because of
No,
the
you're
had
referring to
failed
the
on
Galamsey bit or the
Okay.
impact it had.
Larry,
Okay.
Yeah.
We can't run away from Galamsey. It was a major thing.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's not a so, but it was a
Yeah.
major thing. So think about this. You come, all these things that you've mentioned that you are doing, they are things that were being done already. The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, they've had river guards already. Except that ours were wearing blue, and these ones are wearing yellow. That is all. But it's been there.
So
it's
change of name, change of
color.
and then
it's there. It's something that is
We're
at the
back to
ministry.
square one.
Yeah, it's something that is at the ministry. The police and the military, they have always been arresting people. In fact, Akufo-Addo government prosecuted 850 illegal Galamseyers.
Oh, really?
Yes.
We asked for the names.
No, it's there. No.
And Dami couldn't produce them.
You have a new attorney general. Let him produce. It's the same department.
No. He who alleges must prove.
No, but
And
it's the
Dami
same.
was the one who
Larry,
said.
Larry, I think to be fair, it's the same department.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
It's the same department. So request for it.
Right.
85 of them were sentenced. 85 of them were sentenced. Now, showing videos of Galamseyers on TV in news had always been. In fact, your portal, October 2024, showed Galamseyers, October 2024, who had been arrested from the Galamsey pit and lined up and being taken to police station on your portal. So these things,
They are not
have
new.
always been there.
Very well.
These are the new things, and I conclude. These are the new things you promised us. You said that immediately, and these were your words, immediately you come to office, you repeal the LI that allows, not amend, repeal the LI that allows mining in forest reserve. You said that you will ban all form of small-scale mining for a while so that you can sanitize the sector before you reissue licenses.
Yeah.
These were your words. Number 3, you said that you are going to ensure that, oh my, how did I miss this? You're going to ensure that the state of emergency that we refused to call for, you're going to bring the state of emergency. You backed it, you supported it. You were all over the place. In fact, the president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, had a virtual engagement, one of those virtual engagements on Facebook, and said that he thinks that the country is in dire need of a state of emergency.
Very well.
My view is that all these 3 things, none of them requires or needs even 2 days. You have over 180 something MPs. Repeal the law already. State of emergency, write that 1 paragraph letter and take it to parliament and get it passed.
Executive instruments.
Get it done. Until you do these things that you promised us. If you are still arresting people in the Galamsey pit, I even forgot one. You said that you are going to free all the boys who were arrested in the Galamsey pit and let them go home because they are not the main people. And you go after kingpins. Why are you arresting these Galamsey boys and showing them on TV for us to clap for you?
One to me is a kingpin.
Yeah, so take him to court.
But he's not been arrested.
Yes, you haven't arrested him.
He hasn't been arrested.
So Larry, you haven't arrested him. You haven't taken him to court. You are showing us those boys.
The same boys.
The boys that you said you will free.
arrested.
You are showing them on TV and you said we should clap
Thank
for
you.
you.
Let me hear from Wanda. Wanda, are we doing enough in this fight? Are we winning?
I'm pretty surprised that we've gotten to a point where the MPP now feels that what we are doing is the same thing they have also done. I'm a bit surprised and taken aback. We have never had this kind of commitment, what I say, political commitment from the ruling party on the combat of Galamsey. Yeah, indeed, you can say that yesterday's press conference by the minister showcased some of the things that have happened in the past. But in the past, the reports we have always had was the report from independent, investigators like the Joy FM guy, your own station, and many other civil society organizations that have been involved in the Galamsey fight. And so it wasn't as though government by itself ever called the media and decided to expose itself. We didn't have that. We are very conscious that what we are even doing now rather dents our image as a party. But for what? To what end? We don't mind. Let the people know what is happening. And that's what we're doing. We're doing also this so that people can understand that there is a certain fight. However, the fight is not a media fight. And yet, if you do make some arrest of people who are involved in Galamsey. Let the people know. Let them understand.
Media fight. Then the press conference yesterday, you think was premature?
No, it wasn't premature, and we're losing sight of a few things. I mean, I have taken about 10 points out of what the ministers did yesterday, and we shouldn't lose sight of it. Everybody seems to be saying Akonta, Akonta. The fight is not about Akonta. When the undercover investigators went to that place, it was only Akonta they found. They found other small-scale miners who were doing business. That's how come the bit about reserves or concessions being sold to other miners. And so the key is that if it is Akonta that is involved in the syndicate that is selling out the lands or the reserves or the concessions to the others, then when you get Akonta, you are getting all the others. That's why you will feel that it's about Akonta. No, it is not just about Akonta. It's about the Tano River, pollution. And so these are the issues. Number one, Minister asked for the revocation of Akonta's license yesterday because of the videos, the scary. I mean, if you watch the video, you naturally get emotional. That people, Ghanaians, who are supposed to understand the repercussions of small-scale mining and all the health implications that we have seen in this country, professors, researchers have come out to tell us the impact of illegal mining in this country. And yet, nothing has been done. So one, revoke the license of Akonta mining. Two, he talked about accusations of the criminal syndicates, which we think is wrong. It has to be stopped some way, somehow. And so the minister called for that as well to cease. To the extent that they are even selling concessions on their own when they didn't have the mandate. That's criminal. That's actually, it's unconscionable.
And so that's what Dennis is saying.
You cannot go along that line.
Conclude investigations, pick them up, prosecute them.
I'm getting there. In the same press conference, the minister, the Lands and Forest Minister, Natural Resources Minister, indicated that the case has been taken over by the Attorney General's department. What did we see in the previous government? In Frimpong Boating's report, when the report was made known, the white paper that was issued, I mean, through the Attorney General's, but what did he do? It did nothing. He actually freed them. He said they had no evidence.
For results of an investigation.
Exactly. Exactly. They actually said that they had no evidence to prosecute anybody. And so I am hearing for the first time that some 800 people from my brother have been prosecuted, and you said how many? You said how many were charged? 85 were actually. So indeed, I mean the volumes that you mentioned, 800 and something. That should be something that should trigger anybody's curiosity. Number three, he said that they had no permit for the forest reserve. Indeed, you see, when the statement was made that they were supposed to be mining off the reserve, a lot of people thought that it's in the reserve. When we say off the reserve, it means that there's a reserve, there's a protected area for mining. And yet you are very close. However, you cannot be less than 100 meters close to the reserve. This is a case where they have gone into the protected area. In other words, they have incurred themselves into an area that is not reserved for them. That has not been, they don't have concession for, that has not been granted to them, and they have no business being there. Number two, they were polluting the rivers as well. The fourth thing that the minister said yesterday was that the protected areas that were under threat was significant. And that should cease. The fifth thing the minister talked about is that undercover investigations revealed that there was an organized network.
I have a problem with the revelation of an undercover operation. Because Akonta is not the only mining company in this country. And so if you come out and tell us that you are sending word out there that I am embarking on undercover operations, so all the others will be alert.
No, you see, there are several infractions of the law in this illegal business. Today, it is a Tano issue. Tomorrow, Dunkwa is coming. He's talking about Dunkwa. That will come there. We'll go all the way to all the other places that will happen. In fact, if you listen to the defense minister, he talked about the fact that they are not relenting on this fight, and that they are doing this fight on the quiet. The results will show for themselves. So I think that this is part of the grand scheme of government in order to go after all these illegal miners or Galamseyers, if you call them. The sixth thing was that security and forestry officials were implicated to the extent that people who work in the Forestry Commission were also now engaged in colluding with Galamseyers to pollute our forests, mining reserves, destroy our forests, cover and all that. This was also captured in the minister's presentation yesterday. The seventh thing was that arrest and seizures of equipment. We're missing many points that the minister put out there. Arrest was made. Over 51 people were arrested, 43 of them Ghanaians. And so these are things ongoing, and these people have been handed over to the Attorney General's department. The CID department is taking over investigations and all that. So a lot of things are happening. Then government's commitment to prosecution. He talked about that as clearly as possible, that the Attorney General has taken over the issue. He also talked about the warning to mining companies. In fact, that the fact that you are a bigger mining company, and so you go into the forest because you are given a concession, you bring in small-scale miners and all that. They even talked about the fact that about 250 grams of
250 grams of gold is paid as weekly royalties.
Paid as weekly royalty.
Akonta
I don't know the market value for that, but that's a lot of money.
Yeah,
indeed. That's going to be money lost to the state and all that. So indeed, we have a fight on our hand. He talked about the fact that the NDC promised that we will repeal the LI. That is on course. We are not shying away from that.
Not amend.
We are not shying away from that. You see, a lot of people use the word and they feel that, okay, we will not understand, or the bigger populace may not understand. If I repeal something, means that I've completely shut it down.
You scrapped it.
Scrap it down. But that doesn't mean that there will not be any other. That LI gives so much laxity and power to the executive arm of government, which is the presidency, to issue out even license without even looking at the minister or the ministry in question. And that we thought that it was unguarded, because many people are holding licenses, leases of concession areas that really did not go through the process. If you look at the process of mining or ever getting the license, it will take you minimum 6 months to get it. People are getting it in 1 month, 1 week, 2 weeks, and all that. That was reckless, and then that should be stopped. And we cannot continue along some of these lines.
Some licenses were revoked.
Yes, so some licenses were revoked also within the period. In fact, the minister actually directed the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources to revoke licenses and to stop them from going to the forest. So indeed, there are a gamut of issues that will be looked at, one step at a time. When did we come into government? It's 100 days. The MPP is in a hurry. They think that we should be doing some magic, to end Galamsey. But they themselves also agree that the fight of Galamsey, it is not a one-day statement. While in government, they have stated this over and again, that it is not a one-day wonder, it won't happen overnight, and that government, we should give them time. How did they all of a sudden now understand that this will happen?
Your promises these promises are not promises that require
I think you should look for our manifesto, which I'm going to get to you now. You should look for our manifesto and state what we wrote about Galamsey fight. We never said that we're going to fight Galamsey or we're going to end Galamsey in 1 day.
But you mentioned the repeal.
Of course, we mentioned the repeal.
You have an overwhelming majority in Parliament.
But
why have you not repealed it yet?
Parliament over?
It is not.
It's not.
But if we're committed to the fight, as we
I have mentioned to you that it is not a rash business. We are not fighting so I repeal the act. So
that is one arm of it, one leg of it.
You see, very often we make this argument about repeal or amendment and so on, but the argument is always bereft of what law is there to repeal, or which one is being amended.
Is the LI. The LI.
That's the mining.
The 2426.
Okay. Yeah. Mining within the forest
reserve.
Okay.
Yeah.
But which the previous government and then the NDC in opposition them
said they will repeal.
But then they are now amending it.
Yes, but they promised to repeal, not to amend.
Amend to what?
Just the amendment, we are even wondering what's the amendment, which portions of it. My issue is, the NDC has some of the finest legal brains in this country. Yes. So you must have seen the LI before making that promise to repeal.
That's fine. That's fine. No, that's fine. We are not in a hurry to conclude now that because it hasn't happened the last 100 days, it won't happen. No. You agree that the fight is not only about the repeal of the LI. There are a gamut of issues to be done. And so repeal is one of which will happen anyway. I have heard the Attorney General commit to that. I've heard the Minister for Lands also, confirm that, and many other people are within the space confirming that. Now, repeal and amend. What does it seek to do? All of them seeks to correct an anomaly in the law. If I repeal a law, it means it's shut down completely. But I can bring back a new one, which brings portions of the old one into it. So this. What do I call it? Grammar about
it's just semantics.
Repeal and amend. Yes, we'll repeal. But there are things in it. It's not that the whole act that people wanted repeal. They wanted portions of it, especially the one that gives the unguarded, access to
reserves.
I mean, to reserves by the presidency and all that. That's a portion the people are against. And for me, I don't think it's a problem at all. We are engaged in this fight as a country, like he stated, and I agree with him. We're engaged in this fight as politicians. We need to protect the future of this country. We always say that gold seems to be a backbone of this country, gold and cocoa and all that. We really haven't made any effort in that, regard.
One is destroying the other.
Yeah, today, at least the gold board has come to stay. There will be a lot of reforms within the mining sector. So government is able to reckon the revenue required in that sector. And so this business about, the NDC promised this and they are doing this and doing that, we have a 4-year mandate. We read the budget for only 1 year. We have 3 more years to go. And the fight is a more holistic fight. This is what we did in the past and lost the fight. We think that you need to be ready. These guys are not only armed, they are also being funded by the bigger shot. They are also having to be in the forest reserve in areas that you cannot even see. They claim they have procured some 3 million worth of drones. Same drones, the minister says he hasn't sighted even 1 yet. And so the fight is not only about
miracles
chasing.
They are available.
Well, he says that.
He saw them in there.
When the former minister was asked, what did he say? He said you should speak to Professor Frimpong Boateng. That's what he said. When Jinapo was interviewed on this matter, where the drones were, he said they should speak to him. He said they had it. So for me, I think that if we go along that line rather, we will be politicizing this whole fight about Galamsey. The fight is an urgent fight. It's a fight that has to be holistic. In fact, it even requires resources to do that. To keep policemen and military men in the bushes for that long, you need to be able to resource them. Both weaponized, both having the security intelligence, also having the needed environment to work, and the cooperation even from the chiefs and the people that live in the area. You just saw some, I think last week, a whole community has been raided, disorganized, and thrown out of that place because they were acting as shield behind those who were working in the Galamsey pits and mines and all that. So it is a fight that should be holistic. I don't think we should politicize it. We're not there yet. Government is doing a lot. We may not get the credit now, but in the long term, you will see that this whole fight has been won by government's approach to dealing with it.
Larry?
Yeah. First of all, I think that for me, I belong to a school of thought that, hey, if out of the politics we'll get a solution to problems, let's go ahead and politicize it.
But let's tease out what works.
Yes, I mean, it is. Listen, these are human beings that are, that are operating. They have their wants as well as their needs. They have their, their approaches vary. Do you get it? Somebody wants us to go by air. Somebody wants us to go by road. Do you understand? What is the objective? The objective here is to keep our water bodies clean. To make sure
our forest reserves
is protected, so that we can breathe, good quality air. We can drink good water. We can eat good food. When we are ill, we can go into the forest and plug whatever medicine or herb whatever to treat ourselves. Do you understand? And now we don't want to live on a polluted land. Our food is polluted. You get it?
Now we're not even getting proper bushmeat.
Precisely. Thank you. Okay? And so that is where we are. And so if the politicians are haggling over, what is there, I think that we should just try and see that, hey, guys, what are our objectives?
You see, on the politics, I think we should look at it from two angles. The politicization of the issue is one end of it. The dangerous part for me is the political involvement. The involvement of these political actors and the kind of power they seem to have.
Yes. Once there are politicians in the pit,
and that's where the danger is.
And we are expecting the politicians to take the decisions. How wouldn't this be politicized? Do you understand? Miracle mentioned that we are talking about Wontumi company in there. That started, way back. And Miracle, in debating it, mentioned about how some NDC chairman and in Dunkwao, and that there are videos as well. I haven't seen those videos. Okay, but I also heard about a certain MP that some chiefs in somewhere. Yes, also came out to say that, hey, something, this person is involved in this. Okay,
and then Bagben said he was going to investigate that.
Precisely. So the whole thing has been politicized. I've also heard that, a day after the MPP was declared, MPP, all the Galamseyers who are MPP, everybody moved away from the pit. And then the pit handed it over, to the NDC people. How strange that sound? You get it? But we are here. Guys, as I'm saying, we all see, the quality of the water. Okay, the pra, Densu, Sipon, and Cobra, and all that. We've seen them. And it doesn't speak well of us. We are here drinking bottled water. Yeah. Drinking sachet water and so on. But how about those people who years ago could just walk to the riverside and fetch water for everything as far as their life is concerned? Do we care about them? Do we care about them? Miracle again mentioned about how Dami, I recall Dami, okay, saying that
the 850
plus people were being prosecuted. But he never gave us any names. Yeah. Okay. He talked about how 85 or 80 plus have been jailed. Including who?
He said they've been convicted.
They've been convicted. Their names. In the absence of the names, we can't do anything. We all know about how, ministers on leaving office, documents can't be traced from their previous offices. Yeah. And then they would have said a lot of things and gotten people to believe that certain things have been done. You get it? But I agree with him that I think Boa, with all the back and forth about Akonta mining, if you want to nail a company like that, the press conference is not the first thing you start with.
Not at all.
It's not the first thing you start with. You get it?
Yeah.
Have a so you've done the undercover investigation. Go now formally. Now check whether or not all the licenses that have been granted, have they met all the regulatory? And
requirements.
Yes. But most of it, I mean, this Minerals Commission and many of these institutions that we have, Forestry Commission and many others, listen, they are always quick to tell us stories.
Yeah. And that's where it
ends. And that's where it
ends.
ends. But you go back and they are the biggest recipients of all manner of bribes. All manner of bribes and inducement. Okay? And then we come and sit here and talk. The other day we were talking about, how many times didn't we talk about it over there? Yeah. And then here, and now we are here. I'm sure very soon. Yeah.
We even need room outside of
this room. You take us to your gardens to go and start talking about it. And it's the same thing we keep arguing over. I recall under President Akufo-Addo, some national security operatives were busted in the Etiwa forest. TV, we saw them. All over. I'm sure when you Google it right now, you see that. Yeah. Not a single one of them was put on trial. Guns were collected from them. We saw their faces and so on. They were using V8 Land Cruiser, state of the art at the time. Yeah. Not even one of them. There were about 16 or so. And they were mining deep into the Etiwa forest. Yeah. Etiwa forest, I mean, we all know where President Akufo-Addo comes from. So even if your backyard, such a thing is happening, and not just your backyard, people under your directly under your office, national security. Again, Frimpong Boateng came out and gave us a tall list of people who were involved in the thing. We all watch videos about, videos or recordings of where, party event party elements were discussing mining, and so I say, yes, see, petty here, sika. Yeah. We all. Yes, it was in the... Charles Bisu was also arrested at the point in time. No, he wasn't arrested. He was investigated.
He was fingered in that investigative piece by...
but there was one of them who was the parliamentary candidate for... Miracle, please help me. In the Cape Coast, one of the Cape Coast constituencies, who was arrested. Exactly. Yeah. Okay, he was even put in charge of the excavators. And then suddenly the excavators, flew away. Like that.
The excavators, they keep flying. Recently,
another one.
Murtala Mohammed said, he mentioned it on TV3.
Okay.
They got missing.
Okay.
Yes. He said, no, it's on TV3, no, but it's on record. He was on the TV3 Key Point show, and he said that
so we should go beyond the press conferences. We should go beyond the talk. We should go beyond the everyday discussion to make the laws work. So far, about 2 laws have been passed. There was one that's supposed to jail anybody who is found to be involved in Galamsey, and then there was one that's supposed to also the forest. Mining near the forest one. That's also another legislation. Yeah. So we keep passing legislation, and then we are not allowing the legislation to work. You get what I'm saying?
The one to implement this legislation, is it a matter of being complicit or benefiting of the illegality?
Find out what Abu Jinapor, when he was the lands minister, said. Okay, and what he didn't do. So we take it from his vetting. Yeah. What he said at his vetting. Then when he came to office, what he did and what he didn't do. Suddenly, I mean, he's now on the media platforms talking about how now he says that the state of emergency should now be no,
but that one he's saying it. He's not saying that he believes necessarily in that. He's saying you said you do it, so just do it.
No, he said it should be done.
No, but Larry, but it's fair.
Yeah,
okay. I didn't believe in it. Yeah. But you said that you believed in it. So if you have come, do it.
But
it doesn't mean that I can't say it. It doesn't mean I can't say it.
In his words, when he was minister, he said it was draconian.
Yes.
So if you felt it was draconian, you should still feel.
No, hold on. No, wait. I felt it was draconian, but you insisted you do it. For which reason you've been voted for? Why are you not doing it? So I can't say it. I can't tell you to do what you want.
Do you still feel it's draconian?
No, I think it's draconian. I don't think that the state of emergency is going to solve Galamsey. But you said you would do it.
Very well.
You get what I'm saying?
Let me take a break.
I thought I was going to have.
Yeah, I'll come back to you. Let me take a break. When I come, Larry will wrap up. Then we'll go another round on this, and then we can move on. This is Breakfast Daily on Channel One Television. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Grateful that you stayed on with us. This is Breakfast Daily here on Channel One TV. We're having the news review segment. Larry Dugbe is here. Wanda Madilo is here. Dennis Abuaje is also here. Larry, you had the floor. Wrap up on the miracle.
Okay, so yes, I think that we should go beyond the press conferences.
Yeah,
and be action oriented.
Concrete action.
Exactly. Press conference, social media, all that. Yeah. I mean, listen, if when the water is clear and wholesome to drink, I mean, people would, people will see.
That's the true measure of the fight.
Exactly, of the fight.
If the water begins to clear up, then we know there's an actual fight ongoing.
Sometimes you go certain operations, nobody, but nobody will know about it. By the time you woke up, everything is cleared. People have moved on.
And that's what I'm about. That's why I have a problem with this press conference and the revelations.
The killing of Osama bin Laden.
Yeah.
I mean, the SEAL landed, did everything, took the body away. I mean, but for that helicopter that, crashed, nobody would have noticed that anything of a sort had happened. That is how security people are supposed to operate. Those who are supposed to see a certain video, they see it. Yes, it can be declassified, and then you see. But this thing where, they move and, with the help of a phone, everybody is taking a picture or they are doing, live video of Galamsey's side. People will hide things. People will know that from here they are coming here. From there they are going there. Then you don't get to solve anything. And our water bodies are being polluted. I'm saying, I want to ask. So, want to me have a refinery?
I don't know about
how does he refine his gold? All the gold bars that he showed us, how did he refine them? Okay, at the end of the day, he ends up in the water being polluted. Because he needs water to crash to crash those rocks, and after the rocks are crashed, to wash them and then get the gold out of it. How was he doing that? So obviously pollution is taking place some way, somehow. We need to get there. We need to get to the bottom and get the regulatory agencies working.
Thank you, Larry.
Okay.
Thank you, Larry. Dennis.
I am begging. and I'm begging Honorable Kufibua.
In about a minute.
No, you can't do that. I beg you. I beg you. Galamsey is the most pressing matter right now. I am begging him.
To stop crying.
He should stop crying. He should stop crying. You know, I worked with the local government sector. So I know for a fact that in this country, illegal mining is happening in 75 districts. That's a fact. 75 out of 261. So it's like the whole Ghana. And I also know for a fact that it's happening in about 529 communities. And we have the list of these communities.
You had this while you were in power?
Yes. And out of the 529
Can you
communities,
share some with him?
oh yes, it's something I can share. Out of the 529 communities, not all of them are doing in-river mining. Some are actually doing illegal mining, but in the, other places, like on land.
Onshore.
Yeah. So by the time you are done separating all these things, you would have been left with, I've forgotten the exact number, but a certain number of communities that are like agents in terms of pollution. Right. I mean, somebody is mining in some forest area, it's bad, but it's not as bad as the river.
Yeah.
So we can target these river bodies and deal with them before we go to these areas. The point I'm making is that we have tried several strategies in fighting Galamsey. This starts now, from 2011, when Professor Mills first chanced on illegal mining with Chairman Potofi, somewhere in Chebi, in a cocoa farm. That was the beginning of this type of Galamsey. I mean, there used to be Galamsey, that's why the name is there.
You remember Wakam?
You know, 2011, we've tried several things. What we are doing today, what Honorable Boy is doing today, for which reason is crying, it has been in place as of January 7, 2025. He is not the one who introduced it. The ministry that he is at, that ministry has always had military and policemen in the forest. As at the time he was being sworn in. There's been a military dispatch there in the forest all this while.
But unfortunately, the soldiers were also involved in the Galamsey.
Oh yes.
To a point where even operating in Galamsey side became more lucrative for them.
They want to be transferred. They want to be posted there. Yes, they want to be posted there. Number 3, having river guards, they've always been there. His ministry. When he goes there, he realized that he's been there. Arresting Galamseyers, seizing their excavators, putting fire into chamfans, putting fire in excavators. Your portal is reporting as of October 2024 that these things are being done. People are handcuffed, being moved. So these are old strategies. For Christ's sake, there are new things that he and his government spoke about. Honestly speaking, that is all we are asking. And that's why I disagree with Wanda when he says that, where is the rush? We are not rushing. We are also not necessarily advising the NDC on what they should do. Because in all sincerity, our strategies didn't give us the needed results. So it is fair when you say that we cannot advise you. That's true. All we are asking for is implement the things that you said you would do.
Because you believe in them, or because they said that they should do it?
No, because they are new.
Including the emergency.
Including the state of emergency. Including the stop the arrest of the boys in the
which you didn't believe in.
Yeah, but they are new things. You understand? They are new things that you promised. Don't forget that if that is the argument about we believing in, then this government shouldn't do anything new. We should just give them our manifesto and they implement.
Right.
We had our principles, philosophies, and ideas. You disagreed. You proposed something else. The people bought into your proposal. Why are you doing the things that we were doing? It's like you are doing our ideas. Why are you doing our ideas?
But
do yours.
They said they are looking for the drones.
Do yours.
The drones will never find.
You know what I mean? You understand?
Let's
Why you don't want
to the drones.
Do yours.
No, but this is part of the Galamsey.
Number two.
By just, I mean.
Number 2. Wanda should understand. Wanda should understand that repeal and amendment are not just semantics. They are completely two different things.
Where did you say that?
I beg you. Oh no, you said it's just semantics and it
I'm
doesn't
saying
matter.
that the effect of it. That's what I said.
But again,
let's
do what you said you would do. You repeal first.
You
understand? I mean, that is sincerity to the people.
But if you repeal, then there's nothing to amend.
No, so repeal first and introduce another one.
That's fine.
Because you knew that there was a difference between repeal and amend. And you kept saying we'll repeal. Do you know the impression that has on the psychology of the voter? As for you are being brutal and drastic. You understand? So you can't come and now begin to say, we need to just, you can't do that. The other one also is that we are not asking you to do magic. We are only, you see, the NDC, it's their worst fighting them. all these things that we are going, it's their own words. We haven't even said anything yet. It's all the things they said. The president on platform tell the people, more accommodate more. And about call Galamsey, Petino, move where how much and penny for no one crying. Me ba me jamo na me de machine sama mo na ma kofie na ma kwachi mpenimfo no. Hey, these are not my words. These are your words. You understand? These are the president's words. The state of emergency is imminent. It's important that we do it. Now Galamsey is being done in the center of the towns. When you're going to Enyinem by the roadside. Osino. At the marketplace, it's escalated.
That has always been there.
No, allow him to.
Galamsey has escalated than it was barely 4 months ago. We've never had a time where an MPP chairman holds a military man on a bridge and say, "What are you doing here?" It is being done under NDC Chairman Swansea, in Dunkwao. Chairman Swansea is holding the neck of the military man. It's on video. Joy has reported it and saying that, "What are you doing here?" And Joy shown the drone shot of the chairman and his party people. Joy News shown the drone shot of chairman and his people having destroyed the land and the extent of destruction. It is there. So if the minister comes to cry, showing only destruction from one company in one area, don't forget that there's a certain lie, or a certain, not even lie, I withdraw that. There's a certain misleading in the minister's position. So the minister says that I've revoked the license for Akonta mining. Why? Because I've shown videos of a certain mining going on in the Tano River. Akonta mining has come out.
The Tano Nimiri forest.
Akonta mining says that we don't even have a license on Tano Nimiri. So which license have we revoked? I don't know if you are getting it. They do not have a license to mine in Tano Nimiri. So if you say you revoked licenses, which licenses have you revoked? Because they don't even have license in that area, and they are not even mining in that area. You have no license there. So arrest them and jail them. Because you haven't really revoked any licenses for which you got there. Deal with them. No, I beg you. You let me finish. But even the Ministry of Lands and Minerals Commission actually have issued statement that Akonta mining actually applied for it, and they were never granted. And yesterday they confirmed that we don't even have a license in that area.
But they are in the area.
They are not in the Tano Nimiri forest. There is allegation. There is allegation. There is allegation. So all I am saying is that the revocation of the license is just it's misleading. It's neither here nor there. You understand? It's neither here nor there, because even if you have a license and you are mining illegally, that is the crime. You understand? And I keep hearing the NDC always say, it's even in their manifesto or their 120-day social contract. We will ban illegal mining. How do you ban armed robbery?
So how do you ban?
How do you ban armed robbery? How do you ban rape?
Was that the word?
Yes. I have the social. Oh, I have it. When you say no, you know me. I don't just speak. Don't do that. Don't do that. If you do that, you are driving me.
Then wrap up.
I'll wrap up. But let's establish a fact. I have it here, and I'm going to read it. The NDC's 100-day social contract. This is it. This is it. And I will quote. I mean, it's fair to the people. And this is what they said they would do in the first 100 days. Ban illegal, and new mining activities. How do you ban illegal? It's their words. That is why I keep, no, don't do that one. You know some of these things, when we are campaigning, we lose track of it. So don't put yourself in that situation. You didn't write it. You're a party member, but you didn't write it. So there's a lot of misleading PR going on. This is not the first time. And I hear one that say that, they are shining light on the illegal mining, so they are doing something. You know when we started shining light on illegal mining? City have always been embedded in Galamsey. All the media houses, they are embedded. They are permanently embedded with the military and the police in those areas. Let's stop this conversation. Let's pause. Let's stop it. It won't give us any results. What we should do is what Larry was talking about. Where we have gotten to, let's go not just after politicians. We are mistaken. In this country, one of the reasons why a lot of things don't get solved is because we pick on the low-hanging fruit, the politicians. Listen, the Forestry Commission guys, those guys you don't know, those guys who are not politicians, the people you have sent to the forest to go and catch those guys, they are the ones who are enriching themselves out of Galamsey. I bet you, all the areas that you've seen excavators being bent, go there next 2 months. You see them there.
Very well.
The communities you've gone to bend, go there in the next 2 months. The district police commanders, the police divisional commanders, the forestry people, the district BNI, the military people, they are all involved. So we need a complete reorientation.
Sure, thank
you.
So
that the good ones will be the ones in the mining areas, then the bad ones will be removed from there.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Dennis. Wanda, you mentioned the security people, the police and all that. 34 of them have been reshuffled in mining areas.
The new ones are also happy.
So they're also going
the new ones are happy.
As they attend to
so they're happy. I'm telling
you. In one breath, we agree that this is a national challenge or problem or crisis that needs solution, and it needs a holistic solution. We don't care who's involved in Galamsey, whether it's NDC or MPP. Our strategy is not to go after MPP. You know, I mean, the fight has started for all this while. How many MPP names did you hear? How many? How many that we went after? And is it because Wuntumi is regional chairman and so? In any case, we're not dealing with Wuntumi. The Akonta Mining is a limited liability company, I suppose, and so has a private and single identity and a legal identity. So the deal here, or the company we're dealing here, is not Akonta Mining. I'm not sure he's the only shareholder in that company.
So it's not Wuntumi.
It's not Wuntumi. It's Akonta Mining we're dealing with here. Number two, the strategies the NDC has deployed, if this was done as rigorously as we found in the 8 years of the MPP, perhaps Galamsey wouldn't have festered to this level. It is a festering. It is a festering of Galamsey. It is the wanton disregard for our laws. It is the collusion by politicians at the time in government that has gotten us to this level. To the extent that you have a president of the Republic, clear this same Akonta Mining, and said that they had no evidence and that Akonta Mining is no longer in the forest reserve and all that. So.
And did they appoint Frimpong Boateng?
Exactly.
You repeated a lot of
exactly. You get my point. So there was a certain posturing from the political elite at the time.
Is it different now?
Of course, it's different. It can be.
Is there evidence?
No, it can be. It can be.
Is it in court?
Sure, it's different. And so a lot of people are thinking that it's Wuntumi and it's about Wuntumi, and nobody cares about Wuntumi. We're not careful about what Wuntumi does or doesn't do. I mean, the showcasing of gold and what he has and all that, well, that will be dealt with at another level. However, it is Akonta Mining's illegal activities that is...
Be fair.
I mean, yes, well...
Okay. You just say...
Yeah, you know it's until...
Oh, Monda. Allow me to make my point then. Now I'm saying that...
How are you going to
call it alleged, but the reason I'm not careful to call it alleged is that this is not the first time this is coming out. That one. Number two, from their own report, Frimpong Boateng's report,
you don't
never even say alleged.
You don't say alleged.
We are voting for the prosecution. But that doesn't mean it is true.
In Frimpong Boateng's report, he didn't even state alleged. He said that there were political elements. Yes, very categorical. And even named...
Don't say alleged. We are waiting for the prosecution. We'll be here.
Hold on. And now... what's happening is that new evidence have sufficed or arrived, and we will get into that.
Right.
It's just a matter of time. This business about do it. You say you will do it, do it. We can understand that pressure. I mean, we've been there before.
But just let me take one second. Yeah. You recall Frimpong Boateng was dragged before the special prosecutor.
Yes.
And then the same Frimpong Boateng got sued by some of President Kufuor's appointees who operated from the Jubilee House at the time.
Named
in the report.
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
I mean, for me, that is quite striking.
Exactly.
But then the most interesting part of it was where, when during the second term, President Kufuor repeated most of his ministers. But Frimpong Boateng, who was... Yeah.
I say most. I didn't shocked.
You see, his role was critical.
We're discussing Galamsey.
I thought you were going to mention his son's involvement.
I don't want
because at the point his son was allegedly involved in...
No, we saw him.
You like allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
So the political commitment to the fight for me is key. I mean, it doesn't matter whether it's NDC or MPP, as long as you have the height of governance against the process or what is happening, then you can be able to direct your subordinates to go along that line. And that's what we're seeing today. If we got this, if we didn't get that kind of pollution, that in a government where one of your own, a report you actually directed to be to be investigated and brought to you, brings up a document, and all of a sudden we're seeing people, sitting members of your government are beginning to sue each other. Oh, you mentioned my name in the report, and so I'm going to court. It's defamation, is this and that and that and that and that. And then at the end of the day, the head of government at the time comes out to clear the so-called company, Akonta Mining, of course, that was engaged in Galamsey. We can't tell what evidence President Akufo-Addo had at the time to say that they are no longer in the forest reserve. You know, when he said they were no longer in the forest reserve, did he mean that they were?
Previously they were
in the reserves. So we did not have time to analyze some of these issues. And we think that now we have at least a president who is committed to that fight. And that fight we will win.
But you're crying. You are crying. How does crying solve the thing? You are crying.
Again,
is what? The distraction.
If you saw that video,
man is crying, we are in trouble.
If you saw that video,
seen that
you didn't
before. When we saw it,
you didn't see it before. No, this is new evidence.
We have seen
no, this is new
How is the minister?
If you saw that he didn't cry, then we can understand the position of your government. No, because if you saw that then you didn't cry.
Why was he crying?
Because if you saw that,
he saw the distraction,
and you don't cry, then it means that of course, I wept.
Dennis, you are happy.
You cry. My heart was broken.
Dennis is heartless.
Dennis, you must be heartless. No solution. He was crying. No, that's not true.
Let me just take a few messages here.
But we need to find the drones.
We need to. Dennis will lead us. Dennis will lead us. Dennis will lead us.
How difficult is
that's about 48 million
now.
Oh no, but the fact that you are empowered.
Where did you live it?
There will be documentation to show.
No, there's no documentation.
No. But this thing,
we deal with it.
When you get to sit in an office, you see whether it is actually there and is missing,
or it was never there.
Or it was never.
But you mentioned that when Abu Jinapor was asked, he says they should ask the previous minister.
Not even the minister. He was talking about
So he was on office. He could have told us that. Listen, this is.
Boaz says he hasn't cited any.
We're exhausting all the time.
So what is Boaz saying?
Boaz says he hasn't cited any.
No, you should find people. If you should look for the people,
you will find them.
Thank you.
You should look for the people. You should lament.
It's consequential we set aside our political differences, converge to fight illicit mining as fighting terrorism, and hold all the astronomically big fishes responsible. We must do all we can to protect or defend our forest and what's this your big English.
Big words.
Dihydrogen monoxide. Boss, Charlie, we are not having a science class. Sometimes make the message short and brief so that we can just read it. This one says, good morning, ChannelOne TV. Christian from Sandema. Sam George and NDC told Ghanaians that they need just 1 week to deal with Galamsey. Now they are 4 months in power and we are still talking about Galamsey. Government revokes Akonta mining license. It's not news. Over 40,000 innocent Ghanaian workers have been sacked from their jobs because they're MPP members. So this one is not different. Okay. Alaji Hamza from Pig Farm. Oh, Alaji Hamza. This message is too long now. Truth be told, the revocation of the license of Akonta Mining Company has been long overdue. My brother, you remember in 2022, the former minister, we've established, he was being protected in this country. Let us not forget that Galamsey is an act of terrorism and genocide against the state, and they must not be treated with kids' gloves. Functions of the MPP are out there saying this is witch hunting. Thank you. Keep the message short, Alaji, so that we can read everything. Abdul Ganiu Mankarigu from Savannah says, just 4 months in office, a whole minister who is to solve the Galamsey problem is now crying.
Why?
So who's now going to solve the Galamsey problem? MPP government in 8 years dealt with serious national issues, COVID, Russia, Ukraine, Galamsey.
It also means that you're compassionate.
Right, Grandpa from the University of Ghana says, Ghanaians must wake up. What we are witnessing today is not a fight against illegal mining. It is a state-sponsored media circus designed to fool the masses. Wow. Listen to this. Bright Crampa says, what we are witnessing today is not a fight against illegal mining. It is a state-sponsored media circus designed to fool the masses. The government's loud proclamations against Galamsey are nothing but noise, with no real intent to solve the problem. Instead, they've chosen a convenient scapegoat in Akonta Mining and Chairman Wontumi, hoping to deflect blame and silence scrutiny. Bryce Kampa from University of Ghana.
No, I don't have a view.
He does well. Very well. What you might have a view on, however, is the thank you tour. In 1 minute, tell us about the thank you tour. You are spokesperson 2024 Dr. Baumia campaign.
Yes.
He's embarking on the thank you tour from tomorrow, I think.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Are you going?
1 minute.
Yes.
Okay.
What are you thinking about?
I mean, as part of our social values, when somebody does something for you, no matter how small, you go and say thank you for that. I mean, we went into an election, a very fiercely contested one, and about 41.75% of Ghanaians voted for us. It's fair that we go to them and say thank you for their belief in our party and in our presidential candidates, and that's something that's been done every time. You know, so if you want to ask me what are you going to thank you for, ask him what did Mahama go to thank the people for when he lost by 1 million votes. You know, so I mean, it's just part of our social. You know, so as part of the tour, we'll also be engaging our party people. You know, we are in a rebuilding process. And so as part of the recommendations from the Professor Michael Quay's report, we'll be sharing with the various regions and constituencies what is there for them to do specifically. And then they will get that done as well. So yeah, I mean, from this Saturday to about June 4th, that's basically what the 2024 flag bearer and the leadership of the party will be doing across the country.
Well, Dennis, thank you. We wish you well. What some say the defeat cut them too deep, so they are starting campaigning early.
No, not just too deep. You know, their own report has brought some damning.
Have you seen the report?
Information. I've cited part of the report.
Official.
It's coming in bits and pieces.
Is it official?
What do you mean by official? Which one is official?
Because we are seeing things flying about.
The report is
we are not titled.
So we'll get there. We'll get there.
Miracle.
When I say I was putting
Let me get there.
You were there.
I was holding steps because
you suck the others.
These
are things tied by one day. These people. You know, remember the Kwesibojo reports.
Oh yeah. Did you type any of them?
No. I'm saying you remember that report.
Yeah, but
when it came out and we started reading it and they came out.
Oh, it came out.
Oh yeah, but we saw that report.
But
an executive summary of that report.
Yes, the media everybody saw. But our report is not out yet.
It's not only the executive summary that is out. We have the full report.
You have it.
And we'll be serializing it very soon. No, but let's go to the business of the day. I'm particularly happy that he wants to go to the grounds. He wants to go to the grounds and hear for one more time why they lost the elections. It's good. I mean, it will foster some unity. Safe to say that if he goes out, he should speak well. Because one of the things in the report is that they were reckless in their choice of words. They disrespected Ghanaians. And that's what has brought them to where they are. So my only advice...
Are you advising them? They'll use it against you.
No, it doesn't matter. My only advice for our senior brother and former vice president, Baumia and his team, and Miracle is that they should be temperate in their language, criticize where necessary, and be honest. Not to say that COVID is the only reason they failed in government.
Oh, Russia, Ukraine.
You added one. I thought it was just COVID. So we will be waiting to see. We'll be watching them closely to see what they are doing on the grounds. And then when he gets to Upper East,
instead of fixing the issues of the country,
when he gets to Upper East, there's Galamsey in Upper East as well. But when he gets to Upper East, he should also be very conscious of the conflict situation. I'm particularly happy that is going. We need a more concerted effort in resolving the Boku conflict. It's getting out of hand. So I would call on His Excellency Baumia. And that has been his region until the new creation. So he should show love to that place. One of the major
president should measure his utterances and the conflict to be solved.
Where finally means what?
The president should measure his utterances.
Wonder,
you don't have to respond to
okay, that's fine.
And you know when Larry is interjecting, he doesn't have a family. He's only
Anyways, Larry, the MPP and its 2024 flag bearer embarking on a thank you tour. What do you make of it?
Thank you. First of all, I think that the MPP would have to be candid with Ghanaians. So several factors led to their defeat. And I had expected that, they would put the content of that report out for all of us to see. Okay? In his language, they will say that Nyansa and Thank you. So, they should make the report available. This thing where they tell you that, the report is not out. However, part of the recommendation is that we should be doing A, B, C, D.
They are internally analyzing the report.
So meaning that you are keeping it to yourself.
Yes.
It's like apokonkro. Then you just check.
So
Okay.
where it matters to you, then we'll call you.
I
think if you let me explain this to you, maybe it will help.
Okay.
You see, when you do an election review and the report comes, first of all, the report is not a compilation of lamentations and quotations like they are putting it. Those are what the things are laughable. They said I got up and a big man bow, I squeezed his balls and bit it.
And then they said you chop some wild money.
$39 million.
How hot was that?
So it's not a compilation of lamentations. It's a strategic document.
Very well.
It's a document that looks at what happened. What didn't we do right? What could we have done better? And what we need to do moving forward.
Right.
You can't put such a document out for your political opponent to see.
No, we are not putting.
No, relax. In all fairness, it's like saying that your newspaper herald, you go for your end of year strategy meeting. You come back and you publish your strategic document for the year 2020.
Yet you found ours.
Like you've ceded your time to Dennis to explain to you his report.
For me, I think that.
Thank you.
Oh, that's all.
We need to go. We're at 56. We need to go now. But thank you so much, gentlemen. This has been good. We're grateful to you for your time. This has been the news review segment here on Breakfast Daily. My name is Nanatu Boateng. Thank you for watching. Do stay with us. We have more on the show.